This hour by Frederick Remington, fully cooked, ready-to-eat bacon. Exclusive, no refrigeration, 10-year extended shelf life bacon. The thickest, meatiest, center-cut bacon in the industry at fullycookedbacon.com.
The stocks discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering on acting on information, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice.
What kingdom has sent you?
The kingdom of the Most High.
Nothing you have ever experienced can prepare you for the unbridled carnage you're about to witness. The Super Bowl, the World Series, they don't know what pressure is. In this building, it's either kill or be killed. You make no friends in the pits and you take no prisoners. 1 minute, you're up $500,000 in soybeans, and the next, boom, your kids don't go to college and they've repossessed your Bentley. Are you with me?
The Genesis Communication Network is proud to bring you Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week elf, Mark Leibovit, welcoming you on board his financial time machine. And here is the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Wall Street Raw on this Saturday, September 22nd, the first day of autumn. And, sometimes markets change direction around these solstices and equinox. We'll see if that's the case this year, but it certainly has been moving into new highs and climbing that old Joe Granville wall of worry. Let me introduce myself again, Mark Leibovit. You may recognize me from the old days being an elf on that Louis Rukeyser Wall Street Week television program, or perhaps you saw me with Paul Kangas on the Nightly Business Report for about 30 years. And that was, of course, a great honor. I publish VRTrader.com. If you go to our website, VRTrader.com, you can see all our newsletters. We do our best on this program to try to bring you a whole host of interesting guests. We have a whole lineup for you today. Sinclair No should be with us later in the program. Harry Boxer, Don VIALOUX, Henry Weingarten, and our very first and very special guest is on the line with us right now, Jim ROHRBACH from investmentmodels.com. Jim, thank you again for taking time to join us on this Saturday morning.
Well, I'm glad to be here, and it's a very interesting week, to say the least. I track the S&P 500 for my market timing, and I also track the NASDAQ. I don't trade the NASDAQ, and I don't recommend it, but if it gave a sell signal on Monday, I've been on a buy signal for the New York since 4/17, April 17, and we bought in at 27.06, and it's now 29.30, so that's an 8.29% return in a few months. So not bad.
Not at all. And you were long at a time when many were expecting a market collapse, or at least a correction, particularly as we now have entered September. But with all the news regarding China and with regarding the Senate confirmation of our judicial candidate and so forth, it's just been a lot of volatility in the news, but the market just keeps roaring ahead. So you've been right on track. So tell our listeners a little bit about how you approach the market. We have a couple minutes.
Well, first of all, I would like to offer a free month of my newsletter. When I say free, I'm not going to ask for any credit cards or anything.
Okay.
If they ask for a free copy, they email to jim@rixindex.com. That's Jim, Jim, @rixindex.com. And say they heard it on your show, and we'll give them a free month. But there's more to it than the free month. When you get my newsletter, you become an instant market timer. And by that I mean twice a week you get a newsletter, and it'll tell you what the trend of the market is. If we should get a change in trend while you have it, I will notify you, and that's when your market timing kicks in. I've been doing it for over 40 years. Right now I'm ranked on the 3-month top 10 timers by Timer Digest.
Yes, I guess so. So, folks, if you want a free copy of how often is the letter published, Jim?
It goes out on Wednesday and Friday. And if there's a signal in between there, we'll send it out on that day as well.
Okay. So if you want a free copy, email Jim at RIXindex.com, and you will get on his list, and he will take care of you. Jim, I appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully we can have you on every week for an update. And for someone who's been doing this for 40 years and being right probably 90% of the time, you definitely want to take advantage of Jim's input. Thank you, and have a great...
And you become an instant market timer.
I love it. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Jim ROHRBACH from Jim at RIXindex.com for more information. Thank you, Jim.
Talk to you later.
Well, we're hoping to get Henry Weingarten on the line this morning. So when he is available, we will take a moment to join with him. And as I mentioned, we're going to hopefully get Don VIALOUX, Harry Boxer, and our good friend SINCLAIR on the program. It's been a wild week here. NASDAQ's been underperforming a little bit. The big story, I know I've been pounding the table a little bit, probably a little bit too much, but it's been those cannabis marijuana stocks. And one in particular, Tilray, TLRY, which went public in August, I think around $22 a share, surged to $300 this past week. And now it's sold off a little bit, but definitely some volatility there. Henry's on the line. Henry Weingarten's with us. Good morning, Henry.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Yeah, Henry Weingarten from afund.com. And we missed you last week, Henry. Thank you for tuning in.
Okay, well, there was nothing new to say till now. Because market, we had to wait at least to the Dow took its all-time high out before you did anything. So are we going to have a September or October correction? And the point is we may or may not. The point is the markets will be higher November and December. However, it's important to put stops in because we could go down. So as of Monday or Tuesday, we haven't decided which, but roughly speaking, you definitely want to have profit stops in or take some things off the table if you don't want to hold it past November. So you definitely want to reduce and look at everything you've got. No question about it. Bonds are moving where they belong. They're well above 3. Once they get to 320, we may lock it in. And basically, most commodities are moving in the right direction. Oil, we're going to re-short at 72.50 to 76. We covered our shorts earlier. And everything else is sort of exciting.
Gold was inching up there for a few days. You think it's...
Yeah, it will come back up. This is, triple options expiration. It's just dumb. It's like copper. Copper, our target is 350 by the end of next year. And, what is it, 280, 270, depending on what you're looking at. It's ridiculous. Bonds went down to 285, but they're, close to 310 where they were before, and they're going to 320. So it depends if you're trading it or investing it. Now, we may take some shorts. We didn't do Tesla before, but we may do it next week. Because Tesla's only got bad news. So, we think it's going to go to 250 or 200. That's not astrology. That's fundamentals. And we think the market's way wrong on Nike. We think the stuff is incorrect, but we were waiting for 85 to 88. We got to 85. Since we're not really sure, we probably will do one between 88 and 90. But if we're wrong, we'll run away. But roughly, we expect to see that in the next week or two. If it is, we'll take it.
Okay. Well, we only have about 15 or 20 seconds, Henry. Those marijuana stocks really exploded. They probably blew off this past week, don't you think?
I don't know. I don't play them. I can't say. We were looking more at Bitcoin, which held 6,000 very well, so it obviously is retesting the 68 to 7,000 area. Marijuana, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of arguments for and against. There's obviously, depending on, it's very well overpriced, and it's all built in. But at some point, there'll be some good value there again. But I don't really track it enough to be able to make an intelligent comment.
Okay. Henry Weingarten from afund.com. Have a great weekend, Henry, and we'll talk to you next Saturday.
Thanks
so much.
It's very exciting.
Take care. Don't touch your dial, folks. We'll be back after the break.
You're listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest price filtration systems in every size for incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency. Get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
How well and how fast does Heart and Body Extract work to improve blood circulation? Listen.
My name is Ellis, and I am 66 years old, and I live in Jacksonville, Florida. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed as having clogged arteries. I had 70% blockage in one artery leading to my heart. They wanted me to go on Plavix, but I refused, knowing the negative side effects.
Heart and Body Extract is a unique balance, synergy, and proportion of herbs reaching from head to toe at maximum absorption around 95% at the cellular level.
Within the first month, I felt a dramatic difference. The heaviness in my legs was reduced, and within 2 months, I felt completely normal.
Your natural organic herbal formula for heart health is Heart and Body Extract. Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract. Call 866-295-5305. 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
When you use public Wi-Fi, hackers and identity thieves can see anything you do online. Embarrassing photos, your web history, even your passwords. That's why I use private internet access to encrypt my internet connection for less than 10 cents a day. Sign up now at privateinternetaccess.com, and in just a few minutes, you'll be browsing anonymously and only sharing what you want to share. privateinternetaccess.com. It's time to protect your online privacy.
Hi, I'm Dan Pilla. I started fighting the IRS over 40 years ago when they tried to seize my mother's house. I sued the IRS and won. I beat the IRS then, and I've been beating them ever since. I wrote the book on tax debt settlement, and I've helped thousands of people deal with tax problems they thought might never be solved. I can help you too. If you owe taxes you can't pay, don't wait another day. There's no such thing as a hopeless tax case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX or go to my website, danpilla.com. That's danpilla.com, danpilla.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with ReputationDefender.com. What the Internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with ReputationDefender.com. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771 for your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with ReputationDefender.com. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. Or visit ReputationDefender.com.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Think positive. Never show any sign of weakness. Always go for the throat. Buy low, sell high. Fear, that's the other guy's problem.
Welcome back to the Wall Street Raw Radio Show with Mark Leibovit, your time machine for the financial markets. Want to know more? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Now, here's the elf himself, Mark Leibovit.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw on the first day of autumn, the 22nd of September, 2018. And we have our good friend Don VIALOUX on the line with us. Don publishes EquityClock.com and TimingTheMarket.ca. Good morning, Don. Thank you again for joining us.
Good morning, Mark.
Well, my favorite group for the last few years has been the cannabis group. We talked about it probably 4 or more years ago, and when they were coming off their original funding, and stocks like Canopy Growth were $2 a share, and now it gets to 56, and now trading around 50. But this past week, let's talk a little bit about it. The cannabis ETF did really well.
Yes, amazing. The cannabis ETF, the symbol is HMMJ, surged more than 9% to an all-time high last week. And that's despite the fact that that particular ETF does not include the hottest one of all, and that's Tilroy. Now, Tilroy has been the hottest stock in recent weeks. It's phenomenal what it's done during the last little while since its launch about 3 months ago. On Friday, Horizons announced its intention to include Tilroy in the portfolio of HMMJ.
Right, and this stock, folks, I mentioned it earlier in the program, and we talked about it last week, but went public, I believe, around $22 a share or thereabouts, if I'm not mistaken, and since the August low surged this week, intra-week, as high as 300. I guess it happened for a few seconds as it blew off up there, and we're recording this interview on Friday, and the stock's now down at 45 points, down to about 131, so it definitely was a blow-off there, but apparently somebody thought, Don, this was the answer to the cannabis industry. Why it went that high to begin with. It was way ahead of earnings projections.
It's partly because of the float that's out there. There's one individual that owns a vast majority of the company, and therefore the amount of shares outstanding is not that much, and therefore it's tended to trade very, very substantial relative to the number of shares outstanding.
Well, natural gas is moving higher, and you've been talking about that correctly, that we're in the seasonal time for strength there, right?
Yes, natural gas led the commodity sector advance last week. Prices of natural gas were up about 7%. Part of the reason is the inventory levels in the United States remain at a 20-year low, and therefore, as demand continues to strengthen, that's pushing prices even higher. Seasonal influences are positive between now and late December.
What was the natural gas ETF that you recommended? I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, the symbol is FCG. It's a portfolio of gassy stocks that trade as an ETF in the United States. It was up about 3% last week, so not as much as natural gas itself, but still had a nice advance. Yeah,
it's around about $22.50 a share. That's a good surrogate play. And what about the metals?
They also were very, very strong last week. The metal prices in related equities and ETFs moved smartly higher. Copper was up 3.5%. Now, gold was slightly higher last week, not as much as I like to see it at this time of year. But selected gold stocks actually did very well. Barrick Gold, one of the bigger gold producers in the world, broke above a short-term base building pattern and started to look very interesting technically.
And seasonality carries into October, doesn't it?
Yes, right until the first week in October. It's starting to get a little bit long in the tooth for this particular seasonal trade, but it still looks attractive, at least for the next few weeks.
Okay. And weakness in the U.S. dollar was a little ironic this week, according to your newsletter.
Yeah, it was fascinating. The prices of natural gas and gold and base metals were helped last week by weakness in the U.S. dollar index. The U.S. dollar index dropped below 94.34 to a 3-month low and actually set an intermediate downtrend. You wouldn't think this would happen, given the fact that next week the Federal Reserve is going to be meeting and it will be raising its Fed fund rate by another 25 basis points. Now, normally when the Federal Reserve increases interest rates, that's positive for the U.S. dollar index. This time, not so much.
I know. Everybody's been nervous about the Fed raising rates, and they're nervous about what's happening in the China negotiations. Speaking of negotiations, how do you foresee the Canadian-U.S. Tariff situation working out? Apparently there's a meeting coming up next week.
Yeah, what's happening here is that NAFTA negotiations are continuing, but the Canadians are dragging their feet, and for a very good reason. See, the big issue is the dairy industry here in Canada, which is supported by the Canadian government through a supply management process. Now, Now, the problem with that is that there's a provincial election in Quebec in the beginning of October, and this is a big issue in the province of Quebec. So the Canadian negotiating team is pulling its horns in, trying to slow things down until after the Quebec provincial election. At that point in time, there's a very good chance that you'll see an agreement reached between Canada and the United States.
Don, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Don VIALOUX from EquityClock.com and TimingTheMarket.ca. Have a great weekend, Don. Thank you again.
Thank you, Mark.
Our good friend Harry Boxer is on the line. Good morning, Harry. How are you?
What's up?
What's up? Well, it's not Tilray, that's for sure. It's down 45 points again. Let me introduce our guest.
I had a target of 288.90. I told everybody, if you're in it, get out of town. You can't short it.
No. You can't borrow shares on Tilray? I didn't know that. No?
No, that's what they're telling me. But, I mean, you know, you can always buy puts, I guess, right? But I heard the puts were ridiculously expensive. That makes sense.
Right. I mean, I don't know how you're reading the charts, but if this stock could get back down to $70-$80, would you agree?
Yeah, well, it's got support at 97 to 100. If it gets below 120, that's support. Then 97, then it's 70. Wouldn't that be something?
Unbelievable. This has been just one of the incredible stories that we've been following here in the last 2-3 months. Stock goes from 22 to 300. Harry, what else is going on besides cannabis and Tilray?
Well, just a lot of day trades. Whatever comes up. I mean, today when we're looking at WSM, its stock is up 10 to 20 to 100% gain. We were in the 12-13 range earlier. ALT is going bonkers. I mean, there's so many volatile runners. Look at IGC today. It's up about 50%.
That's another cannabis stock.
Yeah, and it's Indian.
Indian, yes.
So, I mean, we have swing trades currently. I'll give you a couple of new ones we have.
We have about 10 seconds, Harry. Go ahead.
Sorry?
We have about 10 seconds. Go ahead, quickly.
Yeah, my newest swing trades are solar stock, SunPower, SPWR, Biotech's ACHN and FATE. And then we have TRXC, Medical Robotics. Those are 4 recently new low-price swing trades we think have a chance of doing something.
Harry, thank you for joining us. Harry Boxer, if you want more information, go to thetechtrader.com. Harry, we'll talk to you next week. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Go to WallStreetRawRadio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at WallStreetRaw.com. At WallStreetRaw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to WallStreetRaw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at WallStreetRaw.com. That's WallStreetRaw.com.
What if Extendivite really works, but you find that hard to believe and you spend precious time looking for someone to say, just try it? I have my help today because of Extendivite, and if I did not take a leap of faith and try it, well, I would be on disability today. Take 1 bottle of Extendivite as suggested for 60 days to find out for yourself. No need to stop any other meds you may be on. You know by now that they are not working for you. Before the 60 days are up, I know that you will feel Extendivite working for you and will want to take another bottle. Life is too short. Get your Extendivite today. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-318-1251. That's 800-318-1251. 800-318-1251.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. See website for details.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can. Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text DO33 to 350350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text DO33 to 350350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's DO33 to 350350.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. Want to know more about Wall Street Raw and the Leibovit VR newsletters? Go to wallstreetrawradio.com.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw. It's Saturday, the 22nd of September, the first day of autumn, and I'm your host, Mark Leibovit. Thank you again for joining us on this Saturday morning, and I want to thank Harry Boxer, Don Vialou, Jim ROHRBACH, and Henry Weingarten for taking time on this Saturday morning and joining us already. And we have, of course, Sinclair hopefully in the wings here coming up in a few minutes, so we have a great time, particularly with the Eat the Bankers segment. We got a couple of little stories there to cover in the next few minutes. This segment I sort of devote to my own commentary as best I can, and a lot of our listeners have requested that I do a little bit more talking than having other guests on the show. But, we talk about more, provocative subjects in this segment. And recently, as you know, there's been a lot of talk, more than talk, action on the part of the Democrats and the left wing in this country to impeach Donald Trump. And Trump himself said that if he left office, the stock market would decline. And those who are against Trump have actually made comments like, this is a ridiculous comment, the kind of thing a Latin American dictator or a Middle Eastern strongman would say to keep supporters in line. That's sort of the response they're carrying. And, this was carried by my favorite network, CNBC, and I say that jokingly. Years ago, I made a comment, I believe, on the air at CNBC that I'd love to write a book about how to do the opposite of CNBC and make money. And I haven't been back on the network for many years, probably because of that. But, I'm not too much of a fan of the media, the financial media for decades, not unrelated to Trump or anything that's been going on in recent years. Generally speaking, when you hear a story in the media on a stock, usually want to do the opposite, or you're probably near some type of extreme in that stock in one direction or in another. So that's just human psychology at work. But anyway, the story about Trump was carried on CNBC, an opinion, and they pretty much treat it as a fact. We cannot really address these issues from a personal opinion perspective, but I've said it would create volatility and disrupt the world economy. Simply said, history does repeat, folks. It's pointless to offer my opinion and say it's better than anyone else's. The famous saying in politics is that everyone has an opinion. That is probably the bluntest statement on the subject I've ever heard. The only thing we can do is look at what happened when Nixon was subjected to impeachment. Taking down Nixon had a profound impact, and many of you probably haven't been around to experience that, but I was there. In fact, I believe I was finishing my graduate work in college at the time. Taking down Nixon did have an impact and created the worst economic recession since the Great Depression. Paul Volcker, as you may recall, was a former Federal Reserve chairman. He commented economically on what happened with the Nixon impeachment. Quote, it said, it was not until the events of 1974 and 1975 when a recession sprung on an unsuspecting world with an intensity unmatched in the post-World War II period that the lessons of the quote-unquote new economics were seriously challenged. So will the impeachment of Donald Trump really screw up the world economy? Absolutely. Pence as president would probably reverse just about every policy. World trade would go into turmoil. Taxes would start to rise again. The reason the market would decline is rather simple. Confidence. Confidence would decline. It's as simple as that. Anyone pretends you can remove a president by impeachment without disruption to the economy is plain and simple, not someone who understands history, markets, or the economy. The Clinton impeachment was more of a slap on the wrist. Nobody really expected him to actually be removed from office. The Clinton impeachment, they held office not to impact the elections, which is not the case right now, as you know. They are pushing this to undermine the Republicans so the Democrats can take charge and then remove Trump. Nobody expected Clinton, again, to be removed from office, so it was more of a sideshow. But the attempt to go after Trump is entirely different. This is a deep state trying to take back control. Even the Nixon impeachment was about the rule of law and a cover-up. Clinton committed perjury, which was a crime, and he actually did before a grand jury for which prison would be imposed. Even Martha Stewart was sent to prison for lying to the government, a government agent under oath. So what we're dealing with here is the confidence of government as a whole. The only thing Trump can do is to ride it out and go to the Supreme Court. So you really have to, buckle up here and see what happens and whether they're successful or not. My gut feeling is they probably would not be successful, even if the Democrats, took charge. But I experienced the market in the early 1970s. That's really when I sort of got started in the business in terms of, real activity. And I remember, I think it was the fall of 1974 when the Dow got down around 700 level. Maybe it was 680. I mean, incredible number when you think now the Dow's at 26,000. And I remember it was sort of the end of the world viewpoint at the time, both economically, and that was, well after, the impeachment. So, it just shows this can run really negatively. So where do you go? What do? You have to sell all your stocks. So does real estate suffer? Interest rates soar? Panic in the streets? People start losing their jobs and the economy goes down and the stock market crashes. Democrats aren't going to look so good. Maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want disaster so they can impose martial law and we create the socialist dictatorship that apparently seems to be their goal. One party rules the country, and we would fall into the Soviet Union, Venezuela type scenario. So it's unfortunate that could be an option for a great country of ours, but really stupidity on the part of those out there to think that this is the right thing to do. And, I don't want to get too much into politics. I am a Trump supporter, have been from the very beginning. It's a question of changing our government, which needed a lot of change. The story about the deep state and what I call the secret government. I've been writing about this, 30 years, about the secret government out there that, whoever's in Congress, it doesn't really make a difference because the country is run by this deep state or secret government. Maybe they have something on former presidents or on congressmen, secret information. They want to blackmail them on some level. So they follow their bidding, and the real change doesn't occur in our country as we were hoping. So, again, kicking everybody out of Congress. I always says, throw all the bums out, start over again. I've said this for years. That wouldn't change it. You've got to kick out the deep state, and you've got to kick out those who are creating the problem. And it's a big, big, big problem. And we've seen this. I can get into all kinds of other stories about the deep state and why I felt this decades ago. So no great surprise to me here. And, unfortunately, if they get back into power and things go back to the way they were, we're not getting the progress that this country really needs and reform this country really needs. But again, the fear of impeachment, is something that really you need to think about. And if you can convince your senators, congressmen, let them look at history and see what the consequences of this would be. And there's certainly no great reason to impeach him. It's just that they hate the guy. For what reason? Well, why? Because he changes things and he breaks the status quo, and they don't like it. And it's simple as that. They don't want the government to change. They want to have their own little party and, delegate funds to their constituents and to their own pockets. And deep state wants things run the way they are, as Eisenhower often referred to as the industrial military complex. They want to stay in power. So anyway, let's hope and pray for the best. And the best is that Trump stays in power, and my gut feeling he still will, but we have to act accordingly if the opposite happens. Don't touch your dial. My good friend Sinclair No will be with us after the break. We'll touch a little bit on Eat the Bankers and some other key stories. Thanks for tuning in to Wall Street Raw.
You are listening to Wall Street Raw with Mark Leibovit. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for information on Mark's newsletters and products. Stay tuned. Mark will be right back.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. Here, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market tsunami. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required, and no one will call. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw report and Gold News Raw report at wallstreetraw.com.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied, but you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. And purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with, you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Healthcare reform is confusing. With the loss of the Obamacare mandate, those needing help can now choose an affordable alternative. By joining Liberty HealthShare, you're part of a community of health-conscious Americans all over the country who control their own healthcare costs and choices. Liberty HealthShare is not insurance. It is an association of self-pay patients who unite with like-minded people to share the cost of their medical needs. Neighbor helping neighbor. Learn more now by going to libertyoncall.org. That's libertyoncall.org.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
There is no freedom without the law.
Get it? Got it? Good.
Welcome back to Wall Street Raw and the final segment with Mark Leibovit. Now, here's the elf himself.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for joining us on Wall Street Raw on this 22nd of September, the first day of autumn, and we really appreciate, again, you tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed my commentary on segment 3 regarding the risks of impeachment if that does occur, which we hope does not happen. As I mentioned, if it mirrors what happened after Richard Nixon left office, we're in for some serious market decline. So hopefully that does not unfold. History does tend to repeat itself in one form or another. My good friend Sinclair No is on the line. Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 Phoenix, and author of the incomparable blog EatTheBankers.com. Good morning, Sinclair.
Morning, Mark. Always a pleasure.
It's that time again.
It's time for another edition of Banks Behaving Badly.
Well, Sinclair, Visa and MasterCard will pay some $6 billion to put it into one branch of their two-pronged price-fixing case. Let's talk a little bit about that on the Eat the Bankers segment.
Yeah, first of all, the $6 billion is quite a bit to pay. This was a class action suit against Visa and MasterCard, goes back several years, basically saying that Visa and MasterCard conspired against merchants who accepted their cards to inflate these swipe fees. Every time a customer uses a card with a merchant, Visa and MasterCard get a certain percentage amount right off the top for the use of that card. Usually somewhere in the neighborhood of 2-3% in that range. Can be more, can be less. There are 12 million merchants who accept their cards across their networks. So this is a pretty big payout. This is one of the largest payouts that we've seen, but this only addresses the monetary damages associated with the lawsuit. There's a separate class action suit of merchants fighting to actually change Visa and MasterCard's business practices. So in other words, they got to pay out for the price-fixing case on inflating the swipe fees. Now they actually got to go in and start doing business a little bit differently. That would be good, because apparently they still haven't changed much of anything.
No basis to put anybody in jail here, right?
Oh, why would you put anybody in jail? No. Just because, billions of dollars in price fixing, is that a reason for some... now, that might be a reason for you and me to go to jail. But technically, Visa and MasterCard, they're bankers. They don't go to jail. hope we cleared that up.
Yeah, I'm glad you straightened me out on that, Sinclair. I thought we had a fair legal system. I guess I'm just too naive.
You're a funny guy, really.
Well, our good friends at Wells Fargo, we talked a little bit about this last week. They're starting to lay off people, and I know this has to do with the fact the Fed told them they can't expand until they get their act together, but they seem to be cutting back a little bit.
Yeah, they're cutting back quite a bit, looking at cutting their payroll by 5 to 10% over the next 3 years. Now, when you consider that about 265,000 employees are at Wells Fargo, you're looking at about 13 to 26,000 jobs, pink slips coming out over the next few years. This is part of their turnaround. They're trying to get leaner. They're trying to be more efficient, and they can't really grow while they have the Federal Reserve telling them they can't grow until they clean things up. So, yeah, we're finally starting to see the bank, shrinking a little bit. One of the interesting things since the financial crisis, the big banks, have all been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So the old idea of too big to fail, well, they're even bigger now, including Wells Fargo, but now Wells Fargo can't get bigger from here until they clean up their act. This is also, I think, part of a move that we're seeing among banks to go more towards automation, to go away from customer service, person-to-person customer service, and more toward robotic or AI as part of their customer service appeal. So get used to talking to the robots.
Sinclair, are you up to speed a little bit? I'm not, on what Wells Fargo has to do to satisfy their cleanup act. What's the Fed looking for? Do you know?
Not completely, but probably one of the big things would be not to have any more judgments coming down against them. Mm-hmm. They've been essentially on parole. They've had several deferred prosecution agreements, which basically would say, you admit that you broke the law here, but we're not going to put you in jail or do anything too bad to you other than, say, a fine, as long as you don't do it again. And then, of course, Wells Fargo did it again. And then they did it again and again and again and again. And after a while, I was like, you can't just do that. We're going to do something a little bit more. Now, they never went so far as to put Wells Fargo in jail or to close them down. They just said you can't grow anymore until you clean up your act and basically stop breaking the law.
Well, speaking of the Federal Reserve and their actions there, let's jump a bit. I don't want to bore our listeners too much with Wells Fargo. I think they know we don't favor that bank very much. The Fed,
they've got a strange business model, Wells Fargo does.
They do. Of course, what can we say? They're bankers. The Federal Reserve, we're going to have interest rate hike coming up here pretty soon. Is that next week?
This next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, is the next FOMC meeting. This one is followed by forecast from the Fed economist. It'll also be a press conference with Jerome Powell. So this is the one that we've been waiting for the next rate hike. This will be the third rate hike of this year. There's markets pricing in well over 90% probability of a rate hike. If we don't get a rate hike, that would be worrisome. It's going to happen. Strong probability that we see another rate hike in December. So really what we're talking about now is what's the Fed going to be telling us about 2019? Are they going to be hiking rates 3 times in 2019, twice? What's the outlook there? And is the fundamental backdrop for the economy as strong as we think it is and as sustainable as it looks heading into 2019? Or are we going to see a little bit of a fall off? Right now, the economy is strong. It's very strong. The labor market's strong. The GDP growth is strong. We don't have hardly anything to worry about as far as inflation. This is about as good as it gets.
Well, speaking along those lines, the Fed came out with their flow of funds report, and that sort of confirmed that, correct?
Yeah, well, sort of, yes. The flow of funds is telling us that there is a lot of money out there right now, a whole lot of money, and somewhere in the neighborhood, I think it's $106.9 trillion worth of money in households in the United States. That's up somewhere in the neighborhood of $2.2 trillion. It makes sense. Real estate's been going up in value. The markets have been going up in value. We just hit record highs this week, of course. But most people aren't feeling rich or richer, and that's because basically all of these gains have gone to the top 10%, or if you want to be really more specific, pretty much the top 1%. Out of that 100 right at $107 trillion in net worth in the United States, $93 trillion belongs to the top 10%. So that means the bottom half of the U.S. population has virtually no wealth, and probably they are deeply in debt.
Sinclair, thank you again for joining us. Sinclair No from KFNN 1510 Phoenix and author of the great blog, EatTheBankers.com. Talk to you next week, Sinclair. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And as we do each week, folks, we close our show with what our old friend Ed Hart used to say on the Financial News Network way back in the 1970s and early 1980s. We will know in the fullness of time.
Thank you for listening to Wall Street Raw with nationally recognized market timer and previous Wall Street Week Out, Mark Leibovit. If you missed any of today's show or to get in touch with Mark, please go to wallstreetrawradio.com. Any stocks or investment discussed on Wall Street Raw are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. We first recommend you seek out a licensed financial professional for advice. Go to wallstreetrawradio.com for more information on Mark's newsletters and products.
High-performance investors and traders use superior financial tools to achieve superior returns. You have that tool with Mark Leibovit, nationally renowned top market timer, legendary television Wall Street Week elf, and nightly business report market monitor, who shares with you his unique market tools and commentary at wallstreetraw.com. At wallstreetraw.com, Mark provides you with his latest ideas on how to help build and protect your wealth and help you avoid the next big market crash. Mark has a special free gift for listeners of his Wall Street Raw radio show. Go to wallstreetraw.com and sign up for his free monthly Cannabis Vice News Raw report. While there, go ahead and sign up for his free monthly Gold News Raw report. Both are totally free. No credit card information is required. Sign up today for your free Cannabis Vice News Raw and Gold News Raw reports at wallstreetraw.com. That's wallstreetraw.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size for incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency. Get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
I'm David Hall, founder of Diamond Gusset, where we're proud of our 100% grown and sewn American-made jeans. Whether you're out for dinner, working on the farm, or on the road, Diamond Gusset Jeans offers a full spectrum of styles and sizes for any occasion. To find yours, visit Gusset.com. That's GUSSET.com. Our loyal customers enable us to continue sponsoring Liberty media outlets like the one you're listening to. In Liberty, David Hall, Diamond Gusset Jean Company.